Hey Mike,
Yes, Siri, what is it?
you should tell the students about the features on our cameras.
You're right!
No.
Hi everybody, Mike again with an episode of Mike's Epic Podcast, and in this episode we're getting into tripods. So specifically we're going to talk about the Sachtler tripod that we use for the HMC 150. I'm going to get down here and show you all the ins and outs of this particular tripod. These tripods have been around here for quite a while, and they're really sturdy, they're really heavy duty. In fact, my advice on purchasing tripods is to not scrimp on the price of the tripod, because a really good tripod, sturdy, heavy-duty tripod will last 2 or 3 cameras. Camera technology seems to come and go, but a good set of solid sticks will last a long time. So once you take the tripod out of the bag, first thing you want to do is loosen up this handle. You can't spread out the legs until you loosen up the handle. The handle's got some little alligator ridges right here that hold it together. So this screw, left to loosen, right to tight. Just move that out sideways. Now we can spread out the legs. On the bottom here, this piece is called the spreader. And these little screws can be loosened or tightened to make your tripod wider or closer together. These knobs along here, or levers I should say, will loosen the connectors that allow the tripod to be raised up and down. So if we loosen those, then we can lift the tripod to the height that we want. Now most of the time when you're doing an interview especially, or working with actors, you want your camera to be at eye level. So adjusting this accordingly, kind of eyeballing it where you want the level of the camera to be, depending on if your talent is sitting or standing. Once you've raised this up, it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's a ball and socket system that allows you to level the tripod and level the camera accordingly. So what you want to do is loosen this screw on the bottom. This whole ball and socket swings around, and there's a very small bubble level right here. Can you get that from the top? So as I move this around, I can see that little bubble moving around in the circle. I want to get it just in the center of the circle and then tighten that down. That will ensure that my camera is level. And when I pan around from side to side, the camera stays level. It doesn't move up and down. Most tripods now come with a system of a quick release plate. So this plate is screwed into the bottom of the camera, usually with a 1/4-20 standard screw. And then the plate is what is released quickly from the tripod system. This tripod system is using a plate with grooves beveled in that direction that fit underneath the bevels of this system right here on the top of the tripod head. You can see there's an arrow that represents the direction of the shot, or the direction of the lens. So what we want to do is set the camera in such a way that this bevel here is going to slide in. You can see there's a little knob right here at the top. So as we push our camera down, it's going to snap this lever and slide that bevel underneath the plate. The system for loosening that is this red button here. As we move this lever, it slides that plate back, but it hits the little black piece of plastic. I think one tripod has that little You just got to lift that a little bit, move it over till it clicks, and that makes that little knob come up. So now take the camera, we'll put the bevel in the front on first, and get that screw down. And when we snap it down, it locks in place. So always check and see that it's holding steady with it, and you can use the handle on the top. This tripod has several different features. There is a screw right here that has to do with sliding the plate forward and backwards. And this makes an adjustment balancing the camera. Usually this is a fairly light camera for a heavy-duty tripod. We can usually leave that about in the middle. One of the most important levers you're going to use is this right here, and this is the tilt lock. So by turning this to loosen it, we can tilt the camera. So tilt is up and down, pan is left and right. So the tilt lock is for up and down. If we were to just leave this loose and walk away, the camera might tip over and go too fast and then fall over and break. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to use this a lot. We're going to tilt it to our position, we're going to lock it snug, not super tight, and take our hands off. So never walk away without locking the tilt. Also, never come in and just start cranking on moving the camera up and down without loosening the tilt, because that'll strip that lock in there. So it just has to be snug, doesn't have to be super tight, but always loosen it up again before you reposition the camera. Now, the tilt might cause the camera to go someplace, but the pan usually doesn't. So we don't necessarily always have to lock the pan when we walk away. We can leave that loose and move that around. But if you're really trying to lock down a shot, not have it move at all, you want to do both of those. So let's loosen up the pan, let's loosen up the tilt, and let's look in the back here. The tilt has an index number of drag. So the lower the number, the less the drag and tension. So it moves quite easily. Let's move that up a little bit, say to a 4, and now it's a little bit more stiff, which comes in handy when you have a lightweight camera, but you can get a nice steady shot with the drag set at a higher number. So there's a drag number index for the tilt and also for the pan. So there's a little white dot there, and as we move this a little bit higher number, now it snaps into place and it gives a little more tension, more drag on the pan. And so even with a lightweight camera, we can get a very nice, smooth pan and tilt as if we had a heavy camera. There's 2 buttons right here, and these are ones that we're not going to be using. They look like little weights, and that's exactly what they do. When set into place in the up position, they basically lock the camera in a spring-loaded fashion that keep it pointing straight ahead. This was really handy when this tripod was used for an enormous heavy camera. But now that we have a fairly lightweight camera, the drag setting can pretty much handle the smoothness that we want. We're not going to be doing a hands-off type of snap back into place. So if you're having trouble moving it, it could be that these got bumped to be up, and so just put those back down. The next thing that we're going to do is put the tripod from the spreaders onto the dolly wheels. This works out good, but you got to be a little bit careful because it can be a finger pincher. So first off, let's take our camera off. We're going to push that little button up as we push the red lever off to the side, take it from the back out. And now we're going to remove the spreader from the tripod legs. These are attached with rubberized handles that you pull up to stretch over these kind of knobs that stick out. I'm going to do this. Pull those out. Now you got to be careful because now unattached to the spreader, these legs can be a little bit unwieldy. Here are the dolly wheels. And as you can notice, we're matching colors. So we've got red, green, blue system. This is the red tripod, red dollies, red bag, red camera. The way that these spread out is with this silver button here. By pushing this in, it unlocks the leg to get spread out. But you got to be careful you don't pinch your fingers. Okay. With this in place now, move the rubberized handles off to the side. And we're going to carefully set those little sharp feet on either side of the little wheels. Now, if you're out in the grass, the rocky ground, these are nice wheels, or nice legs rather, because they're nice and sharp. But here we're going to set them on either side of that little wheel. Then pull the lever, the rubberized handle up on top of the lever. Okay. Now we're able to wheel around freely. These dolly wheels have several features to them. These little levers right here will push this down and act as a brake. So now that wheel is not going to move. And that's good if you wheel into place and then just with your foot can push these down and lock your tripod steady. Your foot can lift those up and keep moving around. Now these little cases on the bottom here, these are used for moving cables and things out of the way. But they can be annoying when you're moving around campus, going up and down little bumps in the carpet. So there's a little lever right here, screw, just tighten that up to move that up off the ground. The next item on the top here is this little lever, and that is going to drop a pin down inside these indexed holes. Now this can lock your tripod into place to get a specific movement. Maybe you're going to try to do a straight line, roll in a straight line, or roll in an arc or something like that. These will lock the wheels into place. But be sure to lift them up when you're trying to wheel around and get your camera into position. So you can keep filming. We're going to put these dolly wheels back into place. Lift this up off of here. Take this way. On the handle. Push this button in. Push that down out of the way. Make sure that that can fold flat. Push that button in. Over there. Here's our spreader. We'll lay it down flat. Put the legs on either side of the wheels. Pull the rubberized handles up. Okay, and when we're ready to take this down, I'm going to slide this all the way down into its flat position. Pull up on this ring. Bring the legs in. We're going to loosen up the handle. We bring the handle in flat. Keep the tripod head tilted straight. Push this in. There's a little piece right here that'll go over and clip onto the other side. That keeps all three legs together. And inside the bag, we want to put this all together. It's weighted, more heavy, with the head end going here and the feet on this end. And there you have it for the Sachtler tripod.